You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's going on, people? It's your boy charlieinthebox, the Patriotic miscreant. But I'm gonna have my box today is gonna be God-given rights, not man-granted liberties. Let's get this video started. I say the freedom of speech was granted to man by his creator, God, with a big G. And God gave me that right to say whatever the hell I want. And it's my responsibility as an American to report the truth to people in his community and in his country. And the government doesn't think that you need that right to do it. You need to go to college to learn how to read from a teleprompter, like an actor, read from a well-orchestrated script. Going off script sounds like this. The Chicago Sun-Times put out an article on April the 7th, 2018. Homeland Security to compile a database on journalists and media influencers. The Department of Homeland Security wants to track the comings and goings of journalists, editors, correspondents, and social media influencers like bloggers and people like your boy charlieinthebox, in order to identify any and all media coverage related to the Department of Homeland Security or a particular event. So if the mainstream media puts out a narrative about gun confiscations.
Sid, thank you so much for joining us. The survivors of the deadly school shooting in Florida say they're turning their anger into action as they try to prevent another tragedy. Thousands of people rallied in Fort Lauderdale over the weekend demanding tighter gun control laws.
More protests are planned across the country over the next several weeks. 100 students now plan to visit Florida's legislature tomorrow to call for a ban on assault weapons.
Well, they're not going to go off script and to show you this again, where one of the victims in that Florida shooting didn't say the same thing.
1 week ago, Valentine's Day, creative writing teacher Stacy Lapel's class was playing music, writing love letters when the fire alarm went off. As students filed into the hallway, she heard gunfire. The killing had begun.
I was about 2 feet away from my door. All of a sudden I heard gunshots in the stairwell, which is about 20 feet away from my room. And then kids were screaming and then running back towards me and towards the end of the hallway. So I just went in this very strange autopilot mode where I pivoted on my feet. I unlocked my door, and then kids just started pouring in my room. I don't know how many kids were in there, but I was pulling them and getting them in and shouting at them to get in the room. And then I suddenly saw the shooter about 20 feet from me, standing at the end of the hallway, actively shooting down the hallway, just a barrage of bullets. And I'm staring at him thinking, why is the police here? This is strange, because he's in full metal garb, helmet, face mask, bulletproof armor, shooting this rifle that I've never seen before. I don't know when I decided it was the right time to close the door. I grabbed the handle with both hands, and that's when I got nicked or grazed or whatever you call it.
So a bullet hit your arm?
Yes. As I'm closing my door, I'm shouting at my next door neighbor, Mr. Scott Beagle, to close his door.
See, staying on script is talking about racism in America during the Obama administration.
The United States is often called the Great Melting Pot, but it's a country that's struggled with race relations throughout its history, and still does today. A 2015 CNN and Kaiser Family Foundation poll found about half of Americans think racism is a big problem, one that doesn't seem to be getting better.
In America's media today is the same kind of media that says your hatred if you don't like illegal immigration. Well, as a parent of a 25-year-old and an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old and a 16-year-old, if my kids choose not to go to college where they want those entry-level jobs, where those are the jobs these illegal immigrants are coming for, and I say there's a cause of concern. We don't want that. We don't like sanctuary states over here in California from Hispanic Americans. Yeah, that's not the script that they're gonna say. They don't wanna say a brown man is saying that, right? Though the request comes from the concerns regarding the accuracy in media and all potential for U.S. elections and policy to be influenced via fake news. Well, shit. Well, we don't want a corrupt freaking villain like freaking the devil-worshipping homosexual like Hillary Clinton. her rapist husband. We don't like the people that he's chilling with, this freaking pedophiles and shit. Or you know what, that's going off script. We need to talk about the hatred of Trump, even though his polls are just freaking rising and up. Across party lines, people are loving what he's doing. He's going against this globalist agenda and putting America first. Oh, going off script. A plan is called for the ability to track 290 news sources, including online, print, broadcast, social media, and also it would have the ability to track coverage of over 100 different languages, along with the ability to create unlimited data tracking, statistical breakdown, and geological analysis. Damn shit! And that ain't freaking bad enough that you got the Southern Poverty Law Center saying a person like me today is a threat to America. Not these illegal immigrants that are coming over here, pulling down wages. It's apparent, you see, that homelessness is across California in all major cities, but that's going off script. I think the right to privacy is something that we could all agree on. We don't want some pervert looking at our daughter change after gymnastic practice or cheerleading practice, right? We don't want some freaking pedophile recording our sons over at our local high school after football practice. We don't want them in the showers and doing that shit. I think we could all agree in that shit. You better stop it with that. But what happens when we allow it to come into our homes willingly? Well, Benjamin Franklin said this: being ignorant is not so much a shame as being unwilling to learn. So I ask people, are you unwilling to learn? This Orwellian Big Brother is already in millions of people's homes. We call it Alexa, Amazon Echo, and Google Home. This is AI that's data mining all your personal information. Voice recognition of everybody that lives in that house, monitoring everything you say. But they say it's fun. Play our favorite playlist. What's the weather outside? Wake me at this time. Well, there's a cause of concern from that because you need to put all the pieces together. You guys remember in 2014 when it was reported how Samsung can record an audio device using all personal conversations with the microphone that is in all their new smart TVs. Well, let's take it a little bit further from that. How about on February the 10th where there was a basketball game between the Wildcats and the Trojans where ESPN announcer Bill Walton said one of the great new technologies that we have here at ESPN is to look at you inside your home through your TV. You guys didn't see it? It looks like this.
This guy is a perfect example of the Conference of Champions. His hometown, northwest of Belgrade, the capital. 350,000 people right there on the Danube River. And tonight, their family, his family, is watching in the living room at home. And one of the great new technologies that we have here at ESPN is that we can look at you in your house through your TV. So, hi, everybody.
It's 6 in the morning there. They're watching right now.
We'll see an LED TV and an LED system wherein the camera component is embedded in the LED display module. In this way, the LED TV is capable of taking pictures from the middle of the display screen. Because the people are looking at the display screen, it gets a perfect picture for facial recognition. But it came out on WikiLeaks later on that revealed that CIA malware capable of turning these devices like TVs into full-time listening devices even when the TV appears to be off. So if you have one of these LED TVs inside your bedroom, it's recording you and your wife making love. If your daughter has one in her freaking room, well, it's recording her changing into her panties. And when your son bends over and he's taking those boxers off, well, there's a pedophile looking at him just like they want. See, I think the right to privacy is something that we could all agree on. But what happens when we don't know no better? It's not really the people's fault. So that's when Patrick Henry says, the liberties of the people never were nor ever will be secure when the transactions of the rulers will be concealed from them. Well, you know what, America? You've been told. Your right to privacy is being taken away and you don't even know it. Congress shall make no law. That's what it says on the First Amendment. That the founders thought these first 10 amendments, like the 10 Commandments, were granted to man by their creator. They decided to put a system of checks and balances in it. But in order for us to retain these God-given rights, the people had to be properly educated and propagandized to sustain it. That's when Benjamin Franklin left the Constitutional Convention, when that lady approached him, she addressed him and asked, "Sir, what did you give us?" And he said, "Republic, if you could keep it." Well, see, because the media doesn't do the freaking jobs, the people don't understand how their loss of privacy has been taken away from them, but they did it in a form of entertainment. See, if they just came out and tell you they want gun confiscations and they're going to disarm the mass public, people wouldn't buy onto it. But since they talk about bump stocks or magazines, well, we're easily manipulated and propagandized to relinquish that liberty. But the right to keep and bear arms protects all the rest of them. Illegal search and seizure, they can't come into your house without a warrant. Well, shit, that's my sense of privacy. These rights were granted to man by their creator, and we as Americans should not easily relinquish them. Well, they don't want people like me to report the news. This is something that's happening globally. Germany, Malaysia proposes jail time for up to 10 years for fines for fake news. Well, I think it's apparent the writing's on the wall if you just know what the plan is. If the people understood why the Islamic invasion of the European nation and the influx of illegal immigrants into America from South America, well, that's a global plan from frickin' Albert Pike. Pick up a book, Morals and Dogma. He puts all that plan together for World War I, II, and III. You want to know why they're getting all these freaking illegal immigrants into your country? Well, you got to understand the cloud and pivot strategy, the way to overwhelm the system. If the media isn't going to do their freaking job to properly educate the public, well, shoot, you know what? Why? They're getting a well-orchestrated script, not just from government. Well, it comes from the United States CIA and a computer. How are the people ever going to be properly educated to make a well-informed decision if they're not being told the truth? It's my God-given right to be doing this shit. So it's my duty to be upholding the United States Constitution. I live a system of checks and accountability. That's why we have to find God, people. Finding God, there's a system of accountability in your life, this life and in the next. Our system of a constitutional republic as Americans is a life of accountability. The responsibilities to the people. That's why the United States Constitution is an instrument of the people to restrain its government, not an instrument of the government to restrain its people. But how many of Americans would know that? It's my responsibility. Thomas Jefferson said, the tree of liberty has to be fertilized with the blood of patriots every few decades. And the Southern Poverty Law Center says that I'm a threat? Hell no, you're the threat. You're the domestic terrorist. George Washington said, guard against pretend patriotism. I am the patriotic miscreant. I'm putting God first and country first. I'm asking Americans to do the same. These are God-given rights, America. Don't relinquish them. If you're not going to do everything in power to restore your life, liberty, and this country, you're going to do everything in power to destroy all three. Charlieinthebox, the patriotic miscreant, and I'm out.
Hello there. Watch Charlie in the Box before he's sent to a re-education camp. Wow.